Get rid of forced government control and instead, let's have a government service. This is Immortalis. Hi, I'm Mark Hamilton. I've studied the human mind for over 45 years and I've helped over 2 million people live extraordinary lives and start successful businesses. So I can remember when I was a young child and my father talking to me about an experiment that they were doing at DuPont where he worked. He was a high-level scientist at DuPont. And it was a very promising cure to cancer. Basically the way it would work, they would impregnate extremely fine textile with drugs that would slow or stop the growth of cancer tumors. They'd inject that into the body and it would find the tumors and it'd wrap around them and the tumors become harmless at that point. They're encased in like these man-made coffins. When he told me that the Federal Drug Administration enforced these regulations that made it cost prohibitive for the world's largest chemical company, DuPont, to not be able to have to drop this promising project. I remember as a child thinking how evil that was. How evil that was. This killer, the cancer. And here they were on a verge of a breakthrough. And the government just made it cost prohibitive, so DuPont had to drop it. So that really affected me as a child. So that shifted something in my mind. And as I grew older, I began seeing more of this, more of these regulations. I realized that power can only be built through honest values, value creation for the world. But then it can quickly be stolen by politicians and bureaucrats by knocking them down and putting themselves above them. It's their portfolio to rise up in the government. So yeah, I realized that there's a real problem with the ruling class at a fairly young age. And that's when I began to study the human mind. I got very in-depth in my studies, and it's led me to understanding a new mentality altogether that's different than what the ordinary person is used to. Through this history, my mind sort of just sprang into another level where I could see behind the curtain. I could see behind all of these ruling class strategies and regulations. I could finally see what's really going on, this power being stolen. And so this led me to where I am today, where I am starting a new country that's free of all of that, that's free of a ruling class. We've never had that on planet Earth. It's all based on a mutual value exchange. It's going to have a constitution that forbids the use of initiatory force, so politicians and regulators can't come in and steal power from those who build power. And most importantly, the government will be a service-based government, a protection-only government that's there only to protect the citizens and nothing more. See what would happen? That would free everyone. There'd be no stoppage of DuPont's cure to cancer. That there's just so much that's being stopped today from overregulation and legislation and litigation. All of that goes away in the new country. So we will have cures to fatal diseases quite rapidly. Everything will change. Prosperity will rise. You know, I've seen the rise of prosperity in the computer industry that advanced so quickly that the government couldn't really get its hooks on it. And look what happened to computer power. Today, you put in your pocket something a Fortune 500 company not too long ago could only afford. So this is how wealth and prosperity and health will rise in Immortalis at record speeds. If the government starts overstepping its boundaries, you can just stop paying them. It's a mutual value exchange. You're paying for their protection. So competitors will rise up and the money would shift over. Your dollars will do the voting. It's very different than in our country today where we have these political campaigns spending all this money trying to craft these illusions to brainwash people into voting for you. Then you get stuck into perhaps like a whole decade of very destructive government leaders. That none of that will exist in Immortalis. They'll just be your dollars doing the voting. As long as the government is providing you a satisfactory protection, that's all it's going to do. It's not going to suppress. It's not going to try to steal power from you. And wow, things are just going to take off. So if you want to get involved with Immortalis, click on the link below. We already have over 500 members, citizens, and that's about to explode to several thousand. Get in early, get in now, be at the beginning. Understand the foundation of Immortalis. Imagine what it'd be like to live in Immortalis. Imagine your prosperity, your wealth, your health. And I want you to compare it to what you don't have. Because only by knowing what you don't have can you really see and start feeling what you could have. Think about what you can have in Immortalis. Watch this video to see the #1 thing holding you back and realize that Immortalis is going to solve that problem. And more importantly, you can solve that problem for yourself today.